Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video. So we pretty much have finished my schematics now. So we've done what, 10 videos or something, and we've gone through power distribution, safety circuit, Siemens PLC, inputs, outputs, analogs, a relay, an Arduino PLC, and then we've just in the last video done my network. And then in doing this, I realized that I've missed out my Raspberry Pi. So in this video, let's just quickly add in my Raspberry Pi to this just for completion. So it should be a pretty quick video. So all I want to do, I think, is now the Raspberry Pi just has an Ethernet port, so I could just, obviously it is powered by, okay, let me show you. So the Raspberry Pi is powered, it's over there, that's it there. And it is powered by this 24 volt to 5 volt DC to DC converter, so I need to draw that. And then it goes, can you see it on there? It's a bit out of shot. Bit out of shot on there. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get it. Okay, yeah. So, it's there. So then it's a DC to DC converter with then a micro USB output, I think, or maybe USB-C. One second, let me check. So yeah, it's powered by one of these. Basically, it has a dedicated USB-C output, and then it just takes a 2-wire 24 volt input. So let's draw that. I think we'll make the part here. We'll probably need to make the component first. So I don't know how to start this. Perhaps we just go with drawing a square. Let's just try and make this quick. So draw a cheeky square. And oh, why is it grey? I was thinking why is it grey, but it's because of my previously used settings. I don't know if that's correct. Whatever, this color, I can't get it now. Ah, okay, that does not look great, and I don't know what color that is. Chances that maybe, but a bit 0.25 mil. It seems to be a bit darker. Can I go a bit darker? I can't see a color that's a bit darker without being just straight black. Okay, we're gonna have to live with that for now. So that, and then we want what I want to do is I want to grab these individual bits. I don't know how I can do that. Let's copy, paste it over here, and then I want its individual parts. I don't want, so I can grab that. I can't get that. So can I explore? No. Open a new tab? No. Do you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to break this thing up now. Explode graphical block. There we go. Cool. So I can actually now just, so I've broke that up from being a part now into its graphical components. So I can now just copy it and do what I originally wanted to. So the Raspberry Pi doesn't take like a terminal input like this. So let's not draw it like that. Let's draw it like, oh, can you see what color this is now? Okay, 178, 78, 78. So that's the color. So let's draw the USB part of it like this. We'll just say that that's a USB-C. Again, you can do this kind of anyhow you want. We'll fill that in like that. And then the Ethernet part, probably we won't display on here. We'll just make the part first. So let's do there, and we'll write 5 volts USB-C. Cool. Take that text, make it say RPI. I think that's good enough. So we can now convert this into a part, which is what we did ages ago. I can't remember exactly how to do it. So what is it? It's not a PLC. Maybe go networking, I think. Let's just go networking. Networking for now. It's giving it that code. I think I'll give it RPI1. Like that. Put it underneath. So now that's now a part in our project without being a part in SkyCAD, which is what I wanted basically. So now if I come to show components, we should have RPI1, which we do. And then I now want to generate a block for this, if I can remember how to do this. So show terminals, connectors, maybe terminals, connection ports, block generator, and then add a block. So now I want to add a communication port to the top. Let's think about this. I probably want a generic port for power, and then a communication port as well. Let's do that, I think. And then communication port, I'm going to just generate a block just for this, call it RPI, and then place that in my networking folder. Yep. And then we'll close this block. It wants me to save it. Enter new part number, RPI4. Don't know. Yep, close it, close that. Alright, and then now, if I go, has it added a new part? I'm not sure. If I go show sheets. How do I do this? Okay. Network, yep, that was it. And then I want to go here, RPI. We've got the RPI. Bring that in. Beautiful. So now link that to this RPI. That's linked. Lovely. And then now let's move our home network thing in from there. Go over to our connections. And bring this down here. Like so. So now our Raspberry Pi is connected to our network. And also on our power distribution, we now need X0 and X1 into a DC to DC converter. This is why I'm not a particular fan of like how I've done these terminals, but okay. Let's just continue. So we got an X0 terminal, and then now we need an X1 terminal. Oops. Didn't mean to go there. So terminal strips, and then we assign it to a different terminal, which is X1 that we want, to there. Now we can do this to there. And how are we getting our 0 volts up when we haven't got it extended along the top? We've kind of ruined our convention here. Unless we go like down here like this. This is going to look ugly. So we need to go into a DC to DC converter, which SkyCAD I don't think has a DC to DC converter. So if we go to power distribution blocks, we don't want any of those. If we go to power supplies, we essentially want this, but not the AC part. So again, I wonder, can I click on this, drawing, explode it to graphical block? Lovely, I can. Remove this, remove that leg, or the middle leg. Let's do that leg. And then now copy and paste this, like so. Oh, not quite aligned. Nope, still not quite aligned. Are they not on the grid properly? Oh my gosh, show grid. What's happening there? Oh dear. Are they aligned? That looks aligned. Yep. Cool. Alright, so now that should give us more of a DC to DC conversion. Let me just quickly double check by looking at DC to DC electrical schematic symbol. Usually it's more of a box, isn't it? Oh, I don't want that. I don't want this. What I want is that. There you go. That's what I want. So I'm not. I think that will do. I don't know why. Why is the line on top versus on bottom? This is what I wanted, but yeah. Okay, this will do for now. So if we now, we now want to create a graphical block of this. Define it as input there. Yep. Add it to our power supplies. So we got PSU2. Why do we have it twice? I don't know. Is that gonna go? Which one's which? Which one moves with it? They both move with it. Okay, that's lovely. Delete that one. I should probably save this as well because I'll probably use this again in future. So if we create graphical grouping, click there, and then we want DC to DC, 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 convert. Save that. Yep, and then put it in our power splice. Oh, not power distribution, power splice. Okay. Cool, so that's now saved. So how are we now going to draw this? Obviously, USB kind of becomes twisted pair, which is a bit awkward. What do we do? This is where I should plan a bit more. So if we did that, which that just looks horrible, obviously. Let's stick that there like that. Can we snap to the main grid, not to the subgrid, please? Cool. So if we draw that, what are we doing with our 0 volts? Because our 0 volts right now is just super awkward where it is. Just thinking I could maybe bring it up like this. I don't think there's not really a good solution here without kind of redrawing this, and I don't want to do that. So like what I did here is I just pulled it out from here. So what am I going to do though? Pull that all the way across? That just won't look nice. So yeah, and then now what do I do about this output here, which is 5 volts? So firstly, can I double click here and get it to show my output? What do we want here? We want DC converter, Raspberry Pi, that would do. Yeah. Let's get that in our description. And then part number, it doesn't really matter about. The brand I'm using is actually called Fullry. So let's just write that as manufacturer. Fullry. Never heard of them before. So input voltage 24, output voltage 5 volts. Let's put 24 there. That'll do, and that shows it like that. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. So now, what are these? Show required gauge, show information on single wires, splice. So shield, IO connection, control. What I'd like to do is draw them as like twisted into a USB cable or something. Like I'd like to do, I can't even go diagonal, but I'd like to go diagonal here. But yeah, I can't. Don't know what to do here really. I haven't really done this square big enough for it. This is gonna look crap, but forgive me. Yeah. Can I make this square bigger somehow? Without like breaking it into its exploded view again. Look at that, that looks dodgy. That looks well dodgy. What can I do? Okay, it did kind of allow me to go diagonal, so that's interesting. That was almost what I wanted. So what I wanted was to kind of do this. And it's let me. Nice. Oh, I fluked that. That was what I wanted. I kind of want more twisties, basically. So, like, if I can go... I don't really have space to go further down. If I can twist a bit more... It didn't want to let me do it when I do it like that. But if I do that, it's happy to let me. So now, like, can I just keep twisting? Hopefully you guys know what I'm trying to do here. I don't look stupid. I want to basically show that it's becoming it's a USB cable. And obviously I could just write it and that would be probably the thing that would make sense to do. But occasionally you get a vision in your head and you're like, yeah, that would make sense. That might be too many twisties. Alright, anyways. I always got to be cautious about, like, this is obviously a video and you guys are here to just, you know, probably screaming, move on, Hamid. Alright, so I think that's okay. That kind of symbolizes what we're doing there. I've written that it's USB-C there, so that's kind of obvious. The PSU could probably do with being there. I'm not really happy calling it a PSU. I think I want to call it DC-DC one, like that. That kind of more says what it is, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll call it that. And then we've got a Raspberry Pi there. That, to me, like, obviously, there's probably a better way to do this. But when you look at that, you can understand what that is immediately. And I think that's the point of drawings. Maybe not immediately, but at least, like, it should be somewhat clear. So, cool. All right. So, yeah, I think we're done with this video. I've drawn my Raspberry Pi. What did I just say? That whatever I said was not Raspberry Pi. I've drawn my Raspberry Pi and I've got it on the network as well. So we're done there. Pretty happy with that. Parts list. Let's just make sure we've got our Raspberry Pi on here. So RPI, we don't have it. Or we have it there, but I just haven't given any information. So let's do that. Raspberry Pi 4. I think I've got the 4 gig model. I don't know. Could be 6 gig. So Raspberry Pi 4 Model B. Put that in the description, and then just put that as 4 gig. And we don't really have a part number for these, do we? Okay, that could be it. SC0194. I don't know if it is, but I'll just put it. SC0194. Yeah, cool. Alright, I'm happy with that. So if we go to our parts list here and refresh, we've got the Raspberry Pi 4 gig model. Yep, model B 4 gig. Cool. Alright, this is going along very nicely. So in the next video we should start now doing our layouts. So our whole schematic is done. Very nice. Cool. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you when we get back to doing our layouts. Nice one. Take care. Bye bye.